Hi class, this is Aaron. My video today is going to be on Bretton Woods. I hope you enjoy it. So what is Bretton Woods? Well, it's actually a small town in New Hampshire where in 1944, 730 delegates from 44 allied countries met and negotiated about the future of the global financial economy. This was right at the end of World War II when it was pretty clear that Germany and Japan were going to be defeated. So it was really necessary that these countries got together and made plans for the post-war world. They really had three main goals: to stabilize the global financial economy, to have better integration and management of the financial system, and to create a dynamic world community with shared prosperity and growth. They really wanted to reduce any barriers or hurdles that were preventing or slowing down trade, international business. This is a picture of this historical event and a list of the countries that were present. So what came of it? Well, there was a 1,200-page document called the Articles of Agreement, agreed to by all 44 nations. And there are three major milestones. The World Bank, also known as the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, was created. It's made up of 5 international organizations that make leveraged loans to developing nations. It's headquartered in DC, and there's over 10,000 employees, and classified as a nonprofit, still around today. It's also considered the largest public service organization in the world. Number 2 was the International Monetary Fund, called the IMF, was established in order to oversee currency exchange. They were created for a few reasons, but mainly to bridge or finance the temporary imbalance of payments on international exchange and trade. So this would hopefully stabilize the currency exchange rates, secure international monetary cooperation, and expand international liquidity. They also hoped that the IMF would encourage member nations to finance moderate balance of payment deficits by borrowing foreign currencies from the IMF, rather than by imposing mercantilist policies such as exchange controls and restrictions, devaluations, deflationary economic policies, etc., that could spread economic problems to other countries. And like the World Bank, this institution is still around today. Lastly, the third outcome of Bretton Woods was the US dollar became the world's gold reserve currency. At the time, the US held about between 2/3 and 4/5 of the world's gold supply. So they determined that the US dollar would become pegged to gold at $35 an ounce, and that member nations could convert their currency to dollars, and those dollars could be converted to gold. So essentially, all member nations would thereby have their currencies backed by gold. So here we have just a simple depiction of how the gold convertibility system was expected to work. There were some issues early on. Many of the countries were failing to meet some of the criteria of the agreement. The U.S. began spending and borrowing at a rate that was really unprecedented, and member countries started to doubt the value of the dollar. They started to request physical gold over U.S. notes, and this over time depleted the U.S. supply of gold. And on August 15, 1971, Nixon put out this video.
And the American economy is by far the strongest in the world. Accordingly, I have directed the Secretary of the Treasury to take the action necessary to defend the dollar against the speculators. I have directed Secretary Connally to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold or other reserve assets, except in amounts and conditions determined to be in the interest of monetary stability and in the best interest of the United States.
So that ended the gold convertibility clause that came of the Bretton Woods Agreement. And essentially that ended any kind of intrinsic value for the dollar, as well as any other currencies around the world, effectively turning all currencies into fiat currencies. So,
and the American economy.
This graph just shows that gold stock going down and the liabilities of the U.S. government, or the debt, going up. So, just wrapping it up, Bretton Woods was a very historical and monumental event that took place in 1944, coming out of World War II. It was quite a fiasco and a spectacle, and it was a very dramatic scene. I encourage you guys to do your own research if it interests you. I thought it was very fascinating to me, learning about how that all went down, because I don't think anything ever will happen like that again, and it was definitely one of a kind of deal. So we got the World Bank, we got the IMF, and then the gold convertibility, which got ended 25 years later. So a lot came of it. It was pretty interesting thing that took place, and the future of money and currency is in question. With digital currencies and inflation, and possibly maybe a return to the gold standard. There's a lot of different discussions that can come of this, and I look forward to hearing some of your questions. So thank you so much for watching my video, and I'll see you in the discussion.